Mathematics with a Purpose. Today we have Godfrey Hardy here, a tutor and overseer as well as colleague of Srinivasa Ramanujan. Could you tell us a little bit about what you learned from and what you taught to Mr. Ramanujan, please?
Yes, thanks. Me and Mr. Ramanujan, we were great friends. I found him actually based on some colleagues that had requested him for Cambridge, and I actually got him a scholarship for there. It was really cool. But yes, I knew him very well. We actually worked together on an asymptotic formula, which this formula helped us with the quantum partition functions of atomic nuclei. For those that don't know what that is, it's basically a function that goes in with helping understanding the numbers associated with nuclei. The asymptotic formula is basically how many numbers can you use and add together that create the same number. So, for instance, 4, 2 and 2 is 4, 3 and 1 is 4, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. There's actually 5 different things that go together to make 4. So that was one of the things that we worked with together. It's really funny because I actually tutored him for a while. And the thing was, he was a bright student. And he knew a lot about continued functions, continued fractions, but he didn't know very much about just basic mathematics and the discoveries associated with mathematics at the time. And so I tutored him on those things. It was really funny to me, though, with how much knowledge he had about math, but he didn't know a lot of the things that I considered basic at the time. But just a little background on some things that he did. It's really cool to me, the story he told me about when he was 15. And he read through George Shoebridge Carr's synopsis of elementary results in pure and applied mathematics. And this led to huge love for mathematics for Ramanujan. I know he learned a lot from this. That's where he got most of his knowledge from, continued fractions and things like that. So he really, most of his mathematical knowledge came from himself. It wasn't from some teacher telling him all these things, which I think I'm kind of jealous of him for that, because that gives him more freedom with his mathematical approach. Another thing that you probably know of from him is his magic square. His magic square is actually really interesting because unlike the ones previous to his, when you go across the rows, they all add up to 139. When you go down the columns, they all add up to 139. The diagonals all add up to 139, but with his, you also have all 4 of the outside squares on the corners add up to 139. You have, if you take the 2 inside on the top row and the 2 inside on the bottom row, they add up to 139. Same thing with the columns, 2 inside and 2 inside on the 2 outside row columns. They add up to 139. There's a few other different shaded areas that all add up to 139. So there's multiple other ways of finding 139. On top of that, the really cool thing is that if you look at the top line, it actually is his birthday, December 22nd, 1887. I just found that really cool, that he basically made that whole magic square by making the top line his birthday and then creating the rest of the numbers that would work for it. So.